In this video we're going to be looking at how you use conjunctions in Latin to make long sentences which look quite scary into short, easy sentences that we've met before. So, in this sentence you can see I've got ubi Julius ad oppidum venit magnos moros vidit. It looks quite a long sentence, but this word ubi at the beginning is going to help me out. And the very first thing I can do is draw some brackets from ubi to the verb venit. And you'll often find that there's actually a comma where that first section finishes. What I've actually done here is I've split the sentence into two halves. So I have two mini sentences. The first one is a subordinate clause, the second one is the main clause. But as far as I'm concerned, they're just two sentences. And I can apply my normal sentence rules for each one. So the first half of the sentence, I have a subject and a verb. I've got ad oppidum, preposition phrase in there. Second one, well, I've got my OS endings, so they must be objects, and then I have a verb at the end. Because I have my brackets there, it reminds me that nothing inside this section can leak into this section. They are completely separate, and I need to treat them as separate mini sentences. So when I translate it, the first half of the sentence, when Julius came to the town. When Julius came to the town. And I've got all of that together. Nothing from the second half of the sentence is in it. Then I do the second sentence. He saw the big wolves. So for each of those sentences, I've gone back to my subject, object, verb in Latin, subject, verb, object in English. And I've treated them as two separate sentences. Let's see how that works with a quod sentence. Well, I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did before. I'm going to get some brackets around where the quod is, and I go to the verb at the end, timeo, that's a verb. And so again, I have two shorter sentences to translate here. My first sentence, I just have a verb with a preposition phrase. In my second sentence, I have a verb with an object. How do I translate that? I hurry to school because I fear the master. And both of those are separate and distinct mini sentences. Subject, verb, object every time. Now, when we come on to sed, I'm not actually going to draw brackets here. What I'm going to draw here is a little line. And that reminds me just that there is a separation between my two sentences there. So my first sentence is Ulixes diu navigat. And my second sentence is ad patriam non revenit. Ulixes is actually the Latin name Ulysses, which is the Latin for Odysseus. But we'll call him Ulysses here. So Ulysses diu navigat, sed ad patriam non revenit. So in English, that becomes Ulysses sails for a long time, first sentence, but he does not come back to his country. So the but separates the big long sentence into two short, easy sentences. I've left et till the end because et is a little bit different. Let's treat it as we treated the sed before. So we'll put a little line there. So I have two separate sentences. Let's see what I've got in it. Well, I've got the subject, I've got verbs on both sides, and I've got two preposition phrases, ad oppidum and in tavernam. Two separate sentences, two verbs, so two sentences. My first sentence the farmers run to the town. And my second sentence, they hurry into the inn. Because it's the same people doing both verbs, I can leave the they out if I want. The farmers run to the town and hurry into the inn. But I need to be a little bit careful with and, because if we look at this second sentence, the second sentence just has vinum et cibum amamus. So in this sentence, we have two objects and a verb. And the fact that we only have one verb is a big clue here. I haven't got two sentences because I haven't got two verbs. I've only got one sentence here. And so I need to translate it, we love wine and food. And normally et is pretty obvious when you have those two different kinds of sentences. If you're not sure about it though, as with so much Latin, it's always good and just go and check and find where your verbs are, and that will normally point you in the right direction.